Hello, welcome to my space and welcome to the Fitness Freedom Podcast. I see you listening around the world and I appreciate every single download, every single listen. Thank you for being with me on this podcast journey. If you have any questions or anything even you'd like me to spill the tea on, feel free to reach out to me on Instagram or my email, michelle@mlroscoe.com. Check out my website. There's contact information there, mlrosco.com. Today, I just thought I'd share a little chit chat about the tools I use, the equipment I use for my workouts, for my recovery. And it's kind of like if you're into hearing these details, there's no affiliate links. I'm just sharing with you what I enjoy and what works for me. So you might be able to take some of these tips, some of these ideas, and let me tell you, first of all, that there are so many effective ways and beneficial ways to move. One of the simplest things you can do is go on a walk if you're able to, or even just doing some light stationary movement if you are limited with walking, moving your arms, getting blood flowing through your body. So none of this stuff is necessary. But I ascribe to a pretty minimalist way of moving my body. So I like to keep things simple. I don't feel like I want to need a lot of equipment, especially since a lot of my workouts have been through traveling or living in small spaces where moving room is limited. So I'll break it down by strength, cardio, and mobility, because those are the three main modalities of movement. We can put most movement in one of those categories. So, movement focused on building strength or maintaining strength, movement focused on your cardiovascular, cardiopulmonary systems, getting your heart rate up, building capacity, breathing capacity in your lungs, getting your lungs stronger, and then mobility, recovery, flexibility, loosening some tight muscles in your body. So let's start with strength. I didn't get into strength training until I would say about 10 years ago. I was mostly a cardio bunny. I ran, and that was my main mode of exercise. And I eventually learned that I was seeing recurring injuries and it just wasn't sustainable at the way I was doing it, running every day. I have some episodes about running. If you search running in your podcast, you can find tips for running recently, and then my running journey. I talk about meds and marathons in one of my episodes. So strength training, one of the best ways to keep your muscle mass from becoming smaller, especially as you age in your 30s, especially as women. For women, we lose about 3 to 5% muscle every decade, not just existing just because of entropy. So maintaining muscle mass is super important. If you've ever had a history with eating disorder, building bone density, and by the way, this might not be the time for you depending on where you are in your recovery. So don't worry about it. Get your mind in a healthy state before you worry about doing all these things right. But it's typically recommended to do about at least 2 strength training sessions a week, and even just for maintenance. So what I like to do for strength is I pretty much have two pieces of equipment. One is my bands. So I have 3 different bands of varying elasticity for different strength focuses, and I'll do bridges with them. I'll do pulls because unless you have a pull-up bar or a lat pull-down machine, that vertical pull motion, bringing your hands up from above your head to down, working your back muscles can be challenging. You can even do it with a towel. I've instructed clients to do that, but I like these long bands. So they're not the small ones, they're these long ones and they're pretty thick. And so I'll just hold them over my head and bring them down. I like to do pulls with them as well. And there are some cool, you can do clam exercises for your legs. I really like them for bridges. I put the ends underneath my feet and the band over my, just below my knees. And I like to do bridges to add some resistance since I don't typically work out in the gym and I don't have access to heavy barbells or dumbbells or machines. Another thing that my go-to for strength training is adjustable dumbbells. I think I bought them when I came to Madison about 5 years ago. It was one of the first things I purchased, and they go up to 25 pounds and they do the job well. If you're limited on weight, there are so many other variables you can use: tempo, volume, reps, frequency, to adjust for perhaps lower weights, so that when I do go to the gym and I have access to higher weights because of the training I do at home from body weight, from bands, from my dumbbells, I'm able to lift pretty heavy because I have that strength built, even though I don't always lift super heavy at home. And of course, I'll do all the dumbbell exercises: squats, deadlifts, curls, shoulder presses, presses. And if you want to be really nasty, you can combine the band with the dumbbells. I just thought of that and I might try that, especially for something like a chest press or a bridge. So I just have those. That's pretty much it. The rest of the time, I'm using my body weight, doing push-ups, doing squats, doing Turkish get-ups, doing burpees, jumping jacks. I just want you to understand that you don't need a lot of equipment, or it doesn't have to be, you don't have to spend so much money or have so much, you don't have to have a full gym in your house to get effective workouts. 100% absolutely true. And if you do have means to do that and you want to do that and it's enjoyable for you, go for it. For cardio, I used to play basketball a little bit more. I haven't been as much, but cardio, my favorite tool is jump rope. So as long as you have enough ceiling space and enough space above you and behind you about your body length, you can jump rope almost anywhere. And of course, from lessons I've learned, be mindful of your neighbors. If you live not on the first floor, if you live in an apartment or you live on a second story or above, be mindful of your neighbors because it can be loud. But I love to jump rope. And it's nice because it's stationary. You don't have to move around and it doesn't take up much space. And just doing some jumps for like 10 minutes, 20 minutes will get your heart rate up. One thing I really like to do is I like to do 1 minute of jumping rope and 1 minute of planks, different planks and core work. So I'm getting my heart rate lifted, but I'm also working on my core strength. And that's just a really fun workout. It's like, I don't know what to do. Okay, I'm going to do jump rope and core. And it hits the spot. So for cardio, that's pretty much it. Otherwise, I have been training for my half marathon. I feel like an annoying person when I say that. It's like, I'm training for my half marathon and I don't want to be, but I am. So I'm racking up miles. And for that, you need a good pair of tennis shoes. As my friend Brett said in the running tips episode, find one that works for you for your gait. I personally prefer Adidas shoes. Sneakers in general work well for me. I know that's not super specific, but I prefer them over Nike and other brands. So find a good pair of shoes and you can walk, you can run. My girlfriend also got me recently a running vest, which makes me feel like a baddie while I'm running. And it holds it has a little water bottle and a pocket to hold that for long runs and electrolytes, and a pocket for my phone, and a little snacks if I need, little jelly beans or gel, running gel. So that's like an extra. And of course, sun protection, either something to hold your sweat or to protect your face from the sun. But that's more on the safety realm than it is on the practical tools realm. And then for recovery, I was gifted one Christmas with a massage gun, and this massage gun has lasted me a long time, maybe 7 years, 6 years maybe. And it's powerful. And while I'm watching shows, sometimes I'll just go, I'll just pull it out and get the sore muscles. They have different point tips. And I would say that's one of my biggest favorite tools for recovery is my massage gun. It's like giving yourself a massage without too much effort. You can sit there and do it, which I like, or get into whatever awkward position to get your glutes, your back. And it's really effective. It helps me a lot. Another thing that I like to do for recovery, of course, is stretching. Just stretching. There's a few go-tos, but I like to play around with stretching. It's pretty amazing when you slow down and you just try different things, experiment, whether you're doing something that you know has helped you in the past, or you're just moving your body in new ways and finding those tight spots and holding it for 30 seconds to a minute, ideally, and just releasing. If you stretch, you know what I mean. After a good stretching session, your body just feels relaxed, released. And what I also really like are for recovery, I don't foam roll that much, but I do like massage balls. And that really helps with specific tight knots that are hard to get to with my massage gun or just stretching. And I will hold, if I have a knot in my glute or my shoulder blade, my back, my lower back, I'll just put that ball underneath and lie there. It's like really easy, a little bit painful. You breathe through it. And that is mostly what I do for recovery. So, point of this episode is just to give you a little bit of insight into how I like to work out, what I like to use, but there's no one right or wrong way. Find what you enjoy, find what works for you, for your budget, for your lifestyle, for your space needs and desires. And I will say, I know some people hate working out at home. I've had clients who say, just don't make me work out at home. I have had some clients who are like, don't make me work out in the gym. I encourage you to have some flexibility or work towards flexibility either way, depending on where you are. And you might find some new opportunities at your own pace, of course, but work towards that flexibility because the whole world of opportunities are open to you when you are able to work out flexibly. And I like to go to the gym with my girlfriend, and when I do, I get to use the big machines and go for heavier lifts and just play around with those. I really like the pull machines, the cable machines. You get cool angles there, or using the treadmills and knowing exactly and controlling better what speed I'm going at, or using incline a little bit more. But you can work out, and I believe this, you can work out and move anywhere, anytime. It's just a matter of being creative and seeing movement not in such a boxed way. In America, we very much, and in lots of countries, we very much see movement as I'm going to the gym to exercise. I'll say, especially America, I'm going to the gym to exercise. Or if I'm going to exercise, I have to go to the gym. And I just invite you to open your mindset around what exercise can be. It doesn't have to look a certain way. It doesn't have to fit certain boxes. It doesn't have to be at a gym. It doesn't have to be inside your home. It doesn't have to be outside. It can be anywhere. And if you're listening to this and you're like, yeah, Michelle, that's great. I have this idea of what is helpful. Thanks for sharing this. But I also can't even get myself to exercise because I hate it. I dread it. There's something like, even when my mind says I need to do it, it's like it's like top of my priority and then list. And then it somehow goes down lower and lower as I progress through the week because I just can't bring myself to. I'm too tired. I don't have time. If that's you, I encourage you to download my free guide, Find Joy in Exercise. It has a little baby doing a pull-up on the front of the guide. Or if you're like, Michelle, I am so addicted to exercise. I love it. I actually kind of have to exercise or I don't feel good about myself, or my mood is in the dumps when I don't exercise. And I fear it may be a problem. You are my people. And I also encourage you to download that guide, Find Joy in Exercise, whether you're not very active or you feel like you might be too active and you want to move in a healthier way and actually just enjoy it. So there's two elements to this guide. It's not just exercise, it's enjoy exercise. Enjoy exercise. And I will say that I've shared with you these different modalities and tools and equipments, but really the heart of it is enjoying it because you deserve that. You deserve to feel good in your body. You deserve to feel good with movement. Of course, not every second is bliss when you're moving through a workout, but it doesn't have to be like, oh, I hate this, but I'm making myself do it. Or I don't really want to do it, but I'm like afraid of what my brain is going to do to me and how it's going to torture me if I don't do this. You deserve to be free. You deserve to have freedom in your choices with movement. And that is at the heart of all of this and the heart of what I do. Check out the 4-H method if that's something you would like to do, bringing it into your body and not just in your brain, but really moving from your body and not being externally pressured. Let me know what you use as equipment, whether you're more of a minimalist like me or you're a maximalist and you love all the equipment and you want to try all the toys. I get you there too. It's fun to play with exercise equipment. But let me know what you use to work out and download your free guide, enjoy exercise, and have a beautiful day.